8th episode of the Sketchbook Heroes podcast with me, Elias.
And me, Robert.
And...
Yeah. We are here.
We are here. And on this episode, we're going to be talking about style.
What is it? Who does it?
Yeah, who does it? Do you have it?
Who knows?
Do you need it? Well, all those things.
All that jazz.
Because it's one of the most, I think, asked questions.
It is the most asked question.
And we still get it every now and then on old posts, especially the one that we mentioned last time as well about what is your biggest struggle as an artist, and people developing my own style. And it's a lot of worry around this. So we're trying to deep dive into it. Yeah. So it's going to be a bit of a repeat and some new stuff that we add to this topic. Just
robot.
I went to robot.
Bop, bop.
Beep, bop, beep, bop, bop, bop.
Yeah, so with that said,
let's are your friends.
Fracking dive into it. Let's do this.
Let's go.
Artists of the world unite. Step out of your comfort zone into the danger zone.
And we're back.
I think we are.
Yeah. So.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone, from that awesome intro.
Mega awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That I had nothing to do with.
but you approved it at the end.
I did approve it. Yeah. I wrote the lyrics for a totally different song. Yeah.
So, dude. What's up?
What is up? Finally, a normal weekend without any conventions and stuff.
Shit, there was a yeah, that's true.
So,
has it already been 2 weeks since last time? Or since the last
since Comic-Con.
I mean, it's been
2 weeks.
No, is it just 2 weeks since Comic-Con?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because last week was the convention, and then but it feels like we just did this podcast.
I know.
And now we're just back in this room.
We're back,
recording the podcast.
But this is what happens. Fuck. But yeah, no, it's been a pretty, I wanted to say slow weekend, but it's never slow. This weekend, the girls at Queendom Tattoo Crew had their 1 year anniversary, so they had a nice big party Saturday.
For anyone tuning in, this is the studio that Robert currently sits at.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, but this is back. The studio that you were sitting
exactly.
at.
Yeah, it was the studio that I was working at a week ago or so. Queendom Tattoo Crew, very awesome girls, extremely talented, and big shout out to them for being able to do this 1 year and still going strong.
Sweet.
Very power to all you.
Can they find
women.
them online?
Yes, Queendom Crew, I think. Sweet. Or Queendom Tattoo.
Is that Instagram?
Their Instagram is Queendom Tattoo, I'm pretty sure, or Queendom Tattoo Crew.
Sweet.
Look them up, really good. I think there's 1 or 2 posts of me also.
Yeah, so look that up and then just like that one.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you need. But that was super fun, great night. I went in super tired and didn't want to do anything, and then obviously a lot of alcohol and stuff later. You're super happy, and that's how it goes. But other than that, I and Anna, who a few of you saw on the live little stream we did before this, we started
a podcast together now.
We started dancing together.
Oh.
Something called...
Lindy Hop.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. The only... Something.
I actually had a gigantic brain fart right there, so I was like, what the fuck is it called? But yes, Lindy Hop. So we tried that one out yesterday or Sunday for all of you guys listening. And that was extremely terrifying.
I can imagine.
Like I've been breakdancing for like 13 years or so, and that is you're just all alone and you're dancing and learning moves, just like skateboarding or sitting drawing, whatever. It's only you. But now all of a sudden you have to throw in a different person there that you have to like control and work with and do stuff with, and it's so fucking terrifying. Plus you like switch partners all the time.
Oh shit! So that is terrifying.
Oh man. Yeah, I was really bad. I think Anna did a lot better than I did. But that was super fun. Like, definitely outside of my comfort zone. So into the danger zone.
Dude, that is awesome.
So that's the new stuff with me. Other than that, just trying to relax. Also did some stuff with Pilot, which has made my weekend not so calm and easy because obviously I need to do...
text me about it.
Yeah. So always working, always will. There you go. What about you, buddy?
Let's see. I did this weekend. Well, on Friday, like on the last episode, we mentioned that I was going to do a live stream and talk about fur and other things. And I did. And terrifyingly enough, Bouquet joined. And for those of you that know Bouquet...
Or of Bouquet.
Know of Bouquet, that's what I mean. You understand.
Yeah.
But Bouquet being her awesome self is never intimidating. Like, she's awesome. Because she was also drawing, but she was watching my live feed on Instagram. And so were a lot of you people. Actually, more people than I expected. So that was, like, the engagement was really high. Like, it's at the same as just before I stopped doing it. So I didn't have to, like, work up that minimum again.
Nice.
So you guys... Always great to have you. Everyone that joins and like regulars like Emmy, La69, Veronica.
I don't know that person.
No, but you know,
Can
like
you
oh
spell
shit, no, but it's Rookie Tune and know like the normal crew. Like you guys are awesome. You make it like it's so much fun to do it. Because you have genuine questions, you ask about art materials. There was this guy, Matt, as well, that had a lot of questions and like was very engaged. Thank you, buddy. Yeah. And we had we always have fun with those. I drew like 2 portraits, one in grayscale to show how you build up a Copic sketch with markers from the lightest to the darkest, sort of. And then we also did one in color, and then I showed you how I sort of approach anything when I go from light to dark with the Copics.
Nice.
Also, we did fur. And I showed you that making mistakes with Copics is not a big deal as long as you're in the lighter values. You can always like push the color. And if you work with the lighter ones as a start, that you can sort of, you know, get around your mistakes pretty easily. Once you start adding darker tones, the lighter parts will not show. Like that contrast gets so big that it's almost invisible.
Yeah.
And then you take like a blender and you can just erase pretty much or spread that ink, the lighter one, if you don't want it at all. So
nice.
And oh man, those live streams are awesome. So I'm gonna try to do them like weekly, like at least one. Like in the past, I did like 3 in a row, like on weekends. At some point, we didn't even know what the fuck we were doing, so we drew like the humane guy, you know. Just insane. But other than that, I've been getting no sleep. And that has been, like, my kids wake up at, like, 5:30 a.m. and don't want to go back to sleep. So, super tired.
Happy days.
Happy days. So, moving on.
Moving on.
So, yeah. Right in front of us right now is Inktober.
Yes.
So, we're going to sort of touch upon that a little.
Yes.
And, you know, Inktober is great fun. A lot of pressure on all of us.
Not really.
No, for me it was, though. Because I just, like, did the mistake of checking.
Oh, okay.
Dude, I was like, I'm just going to check the hashtag. It's so much fun. And then I'm like, oh, my God.
Yeah. I mean, some people are fucking ridiculous.
It's insane. They make, like, big illustrations, you know?
Yeah,
like, fucking,
complete, like, stuff you would buy.
Yeah, like, it looks like print. Like, what they've...
Yeah. And I think these people are cheating. Like, you're fucking cheaters. Because... You've probably been drawing this the whole year up until this, and now you're just posting every day. Yeah. I know, I'm on to you.
Oh, it's insane, dude.
Yeah. I'm trying not to think about anything, just do whatever it is. Like I said, I was going to find a theme. My theme right now is just birds. It's just easy.
Here's a bird for you.
Yeah, thanks, man. No, I started with a bird because I thought that the first post I did last year was a bird. But it wasn't.
Oh.
So I did the bird first, and then I checked, and I was like, fuck, it was the second post. Damn it. But it's just like, I just need to get started to get the routine in.
I think that's a better approach.
I think, birds work for me. They're fun to do. Plus, like, right now I'm really just going crazy, like doing a lot of sketchy style stuff. Very influenced by my friend and really awesome artist Ludwig Lewinsky. His Instagram is just Lewinsky Art.
Oh, sweet.
Like Monica Lewinsky.
Yeah, I was the exact thing. Like, this guy did not hand out blowjobs at the White House.
I think it's been a while since he did his bird art. But if you look at them and look at mine, you'll see, like, I'm like ripping him off. I did it like not thinking about it. But when I looked at it now, it's like, shit, fuck. I didn't. It looks exactly. Only he does it with spray cans, and I do it with pen and paper.
Well, then it's not the same thing, is it?
No, but anyways, really fun. Cool. How are you doing, man? Except for feeling the pressure.
Dude, yes, dude. But the reason why I felt the pressure was that I got started so late. It was already at like 9-ish in the PM.
I saw the post.
And dude, I was like, fuck, what am I supposed to do? Because I of course didn't do, like, I followed Jake Parker's prompts, like he calls them, and it was Swift. And I was like, okay, I can work with this. So I just like started thinking like, okay, what is Swift? I Googled some images, or not Googled, I Pinterested my folders, checked what I had, like on illustration, on, like poses and stuff. And then I was like, oh shit, samurais. I'm going to do this samurai chick in like semi comfort zone, like do like big jackets with like some sort of, and she's gonna have headphones on, like a cap. I want to do a yellow jacket because I have this idea written down. Oh yeah, that's what I checked. I checked my old like idea folder note on my phone, and I had this like yellow samurai with a banana katana just because it rhymes. So I just took that concept and I was gonna do like, so what she does is she slashes through like people, and then you just see like her back turned and the sword like facing down, and she has like, I don't know, she just stands there and you just see them, like you see the speed lines and the people getting chopped. But I failed so hard because I accidentally used the, like, I think it's Kuretake pens that I used, and the paper that I'm using is a new type of paper, and the pens sort of, they ruin the integrity of the paper when you use them and you want to sort of like fill in like bigger areas.
Okay.
So I accidentally sort of like damaged the paper a lot, and then I couldn't really save it. So I just took markers and I just did a lot of speed lines and fucking crazy shit.
Awesome.
And it still turned out shit. But then when I posted it on Instagram, I pulled up the structure and dragged down the highlight. And I got this sort of like, it brought out the texture of the paper, and it also brought out some colors that I couldn't visually like see clearly on the paper. So that's why you get that super crazy, like with the splashes and everything.
Because I thought you were painting on a canvas, actually.
No, it's just that
because the texture is so thick, and I was like, wow, this is
it's just
impressive.
No, so it was just a cheat there on my side because I was so self-conscious. I was like, it's like 11:30. I don't want to redraw this.
Must post.
Yeah, so I felt shame and I posted it. It's fine.
As long as you're in the running. As long as you're going.
So Inktober 1 is done. It's out there for you to watch. Yeah. And then I was going to do like before I did post it though, I was going to do like ink splatter, like drops. Because the new ink that I bought like Fushi, something Japanese from Pilot Ink. And I was going to do this like stains. But I did it from the brush pen that I have.
Oh, okay.
And I accidentally dripped all over the girl. At first I did it with the pen, but the drops weren't falling like as naturally as I hoped. Yeah. And then I accidentally tilted the bottle on my other hand while I was sort of trying to get that thing. So I poured a lot of the ink bottle on her. So I kind of fucked it up Like I'm so glad I took that picture, that one picture that I posted, and because otherwise Inktober would have been like an ink like blotch on the paper.
Well, I saw people doing that too, so you wouldn't have been way off.
But dude, some of them are just so good. Like, and also, since we're on the subject, a lot of people, we just like sat at a coffee shop talking about this topic, and we just saw you guys hashtagging us, and some of you tagging us directly, and it's so awesome to see that so many are joining Inktober.
Yeah. And that was because I thought Elias was checking the Inktober hashtag, and I'm like, but obviously there's a lot of people, you know, like, what are you, retarded? And then it's like, no,
it's
the
just
Sketchbook
Heroes hashtag,
so cool.
It's super cool.
Yeah, so you guys are the real heroes out there. Good job. Keep up.
Yes, and this was just day 1, and now we're on day 2.
Give up. Yeah. And I'm trying to do it in the morning now.
Oh, like, dude, I wish.
Just to get it over with. That way I feel like good. You know, so, but obviously, I mean, I can get up earlier, and earlier for me is like 8 o'clock.
Nice, earlier.
Yeah, that gives me a lot of time to draw in the morning. So, I'm not dealing with the messy kids screaming and kicking lamps in your head or whatever they do.
Dude, they kick me like right in the face.
Nice.
It's not even a thing. My son even held his hand over my mouth. And just like, I was like, no,
he was like,
no, I was just like, go back to sleep. And he didn't. I said it so many times, I think, I don't know. He just put his hand above my mouth, just like, when every time I said that, like, he's just like, shh, daddy, let's get up. He's like, I want to go up. I'm like, no, just go back to sleep. And he just held my mouth. Like, he didn't want to hear what I had to say on the subject. You're like, shh.
No,
you're good, old man. Just go back to sleep.
Nice.
Yeah, so... let's move on.
Yes.
A big shout out again to everyone that has been leaving reviews. I can't tell who left the reviews because some people don't leave names or like something we can recognize you by. But remember, when you take your time to sort of comment on the podcast or rate it or share it with friends. I know that some of you draw stuff and then you mention that you listen to us. That's also helpful. Like any way that you contribute we appreciate it a lot. And I want to just shout a couple of you people that have been awesome. So the first one is Natalie with an H, Soug, S-O-U-G, for like just being really excited about Inktober and sort of like writing to me and the Sketchbook Heroes account and just being like super positive about the whole experience, wanting to get started.
Awesome.
So Natalie Soug, awesome. And then we have another guy that's been very sort of like on the ball with Inktober. But dude, we're going to kill it here because this is fucking impossible to say. But Richbrecht Verschaffel. Thank you. And sorry.
We're so sorry.
We're so sorry. But on actual Instagram, he's just Richbrecht. And Richbrecht is spelled Rigsbrecht. Richbrecht.
Easy.
Yeah. Richbrecht Verschaffel.
Go follow him. Awesome.
We're super sorry, man.
Yeah, we're so sorry.
But
I want to shout out Miss Ninja Cookie one more time because she's
always.
It's her first Inktober, and she shouted us out straight away, and we sort of awesome. Made her do it. And she's going. She's done day 1 at least. I haven't seen day 2 yet, but yeah, big shout out, Mel. Good job. Good job. Again, everybody.
Yeah, everyone who engages with us, asks us questions, always fun. And it doesn't matter what platform you do it on.
No.
We're available everywhere. Oh, by the way, since we talked about Inktober, if they're like first-time listeners and they didn't find us on social media and found us organically on, the thing.
iTunes.
The Googles or the iTunes,
yeah.
Where can they find you?
You can find me at Rob Ekblom. And I have 2 accounts. One is, I actually changed my tattoo account.
I saw it. I was super weird. I was like, who is this Rob tattoo?
No, but it was so weird. I mean, because we shouted out my tattoo account last time. And then after that, I just got this fixed idea that like, fuck, why is my name directly connected to the studio? Like, I should be a free tattoo dude. Yeah. So now I am Tattoos by Rob. Tattoos by Rob. That's my tattoo handle. Or Robert Ekblom Art. But if you search for Rob Ekblom, you will find both of them.
Sweet.
Yes.
So my handle is @IliasPatlis everywhere. Like, it doesn't matter where you search. Like, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram.
YouPorn, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Hairy Bears.
Hairybears.com.
Hairybears.com.
So let's move on.
Should we really move on? Like, we're really opened up this gate now. Let's do this.
Let's explore the hairy bears.
Let's do it. Hairy Bears. Go. All right. Topic time.
Rainbow.
The Hairy Bear's back.
I just lost it. God damn it.
No habla.
No habla español. I mean, soy hablo español. I love that someone asked us, like, which one of you speaks Spanish? I'm like, what? Are you listening to the same podcast as we are?
No hablo.
No hablo. Diablo español. Yeah.
Buenos nachos.
Sounded like Cancer Man. That's great. So, on today's topic, we're going to be talking, I was going to say Inktober, but we're going to be talking about style.
Style. You know you want it.
You know you want it because we've been getting so many questions regarding style. And we did answer it in one way, like way back during the summer episodes with the question and answer thingy-majig.
Yeah, we had...
a rant.
Exactly. It's a Q&A sort of rant.
Episode, yeah. I don't remember which one, but it's one of the summer ones.
It's not the first Q&A.
It's not the first one? I thought it was. Maybe it's the second.
Like, because we have one Q&A special, and then we did the summer one. So I think it's the later one.
Yeah, it's the later one.
But yeah, we dove into it really quick because obviously that's when all of these questions started coming in.
Yeah.
So we just tackled the first one, and then it was like, oh, we have another one, and then we have another one, and then we have another one. And we just referred back to that answer. So that's why we're doing this episode, because the interest was so high that we felt like, all right, let's do this for reals. So, yeah, that's how we are diving into this episode.
Style!
So what is style? What is it? How? I don't know.
Yeah, what is style?
Yeah, what is style?
I think you guys gave a pretty good example of what style is, I think, like in the comments that you gave Robert.
When
on your post.
Oh, I did the breakdance as Deadpool.
Yeah, exactly, that one.
Yeah, because that had mad flavor.
Mad mad style.
Mad style, yeah. Wild style.
Yeah.
But yes, I posted the question earlier today, and I got a few comments, just like your view of what style might be. And I would say it is, pretty much everybody wrote the same thing. Everybody, as in all three of you, Miss Ninja Cookie, Manny944, and Feral1 Studio all wrote pretty much that style is the thing that makes your art recognizable for other people.
Yeah.
If you sum it up. So pretty much when we brought this up in the previous episode as well, it is when I see Ilias stuff, I know instantaneously that it is your work. So that's it. So thank you guys for
tuning in.
Yeah. And I guess that is what pretty much everybody is asking about.
Yeah.
Like your own personal sort of style.
I think so. I think that's where the interest lies.
Yeah.
At least.
And I've gotten caught up on that thing.
So we're going to explore.
Yeah, we're going to deep dive.
Into Robert's mind.
Yes. No, but I mean, we're going to probably differ in a couple of things at this. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. Unscripted as always.
Yeah, exactly. So remember that Ilias is right and Robert is wrong. And
exactly.
We'll just take it from there. Just take it from there.
He's got bigger muscles.
Yeah, exactly.
You can never argue. But yeah, for me, like, because today, this morning at the tattoo shop, I just asked out loud to the whole floor, like, okay, so what are your guys' sort of thoughts on style? Just like that. So immediately my colleague Johan, always, he can never shut up, he said, like, well, I think of Art Nouveau, because that's my favorite style, and I think it's really awesome, and it comes from this and this, and he just gave this whole rant. Yeah. And it just dawned on me, because we've been so narrow-minded, focusing in on our personal style all the time. But when I asked it out aloud, and he just answered with a art style or category, it was just like, wow.
Like one type of expression, yeah.
And I'm like, of course, that is what an art style is. So for me, it's more like, well, art styles, the different type of art styles, like cubism or realism or comic art or pop art or surrealism, all of these things.
All of the things.
Like, we're not experts in art history, so we're not gonna deep dive into this. Although Art Nouveau is one of my favorite styles as well, so check it out. What's his name? Mucha? Alphonse.
Oh, dude, I don't remember. Every time I say it wrong.
Yeah, but it's pretty much when poster art became really epic. All the nice swirly stuff. That's Art Nouveau. I love that style.
Art Deco is also a very more stylized poster type of art.
It is. I think Art Deco is a more harder.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. It's more like vectors before vectors were a thing.
There you go.
Like,
perfect
very stylized,
example. Yeah. And that was sort of, the counterpart for first Art Nouveau, and then next step was that one, to go as far away from it as possible. Yeah. Sort of derailing again.
No, but it's fine. Let's explore.
Yes. But so that was like, that opened up my brain to, okay, it's bigger than just us, okay? Again, it's always the ego controlling everything. We just keep thinking about ourselves all the time. So that sparked my interest in, like, okay, so what do you people think? Like, what does all of the sketchbook heroes think style is? And that's why we're here. So, for me, style is different art styles or music styles or clothing style or whatever type of style.
Yeah, anyone can draw in a specific style.
Yeah.
Some do it well, but some can still dab in it. And your style can be affected by all the styles in one. Like, there is nothing... Like, if you want to put your art in a category, which I think is happening less and less with modern art, or contemporary art, whatever you want to call it, who cares? But I think as modern artists, we don't look back as much on the past, like art styles.
No, not at all.
I personally... I started looking back a bit when I was older rather than when I started doing art. Like, I didn't care. I still care very little. There are some artists that I, like, appreciate, but it's also, like, it's not all of their stuff, Like,
no.
Like, for me, modern artists hold a higher sort of, like... I think it's more relevant to me. I think that's what does it. Like,
it's just more appealing. It's more fun to look at, and it's just more inspiring, I guess. For me, I mean, modern artists. I mean, we brought up Bernie Wrightson and Sergio Topi last episode, and I mean, those guys are gone. So they're like, our predecessors, but they're still sort of in the same decade or same art era as us. So I mean, I have a lot of, or I get really inspired by them, but I wouldn't call them like Renaissance painters, even though I love that. I mean, beautiful stuff that's been made in the past, and you can't argue against it. It is fantastic, but it's not really... I wouldn't go to a modern museum of art to try and get inspired for Inktober. Like,
no.
That doesn't really work that way.
At least for me, it doesn't. Like, I think it's probably a great source of inspiration.
We probably should do that.
But, like, let's take someone that isn't, like, too old or too new. Like, what is his name? J.C. Leyendecker, the artist that did a lot of, like, commercial, like, artwork.
I recognize the last name.
Well, but he has a very specific style. So if you look for J.C. Leyendecker, or however you pronounce that, his style was very, like, he was very good at his craft. He was, like, a great artist that really appreciate from the 50s that I feel that style-wise is still relevant today.
Okay.
There's a lot to learn from studying his style.
Yeah.
Because he never just did a thing just because of.
No.
Or he probably did, but like, I mean, a lot of his, like how he used negative space, or like how he did a certain thing. Like if you look at the way he does hair, it's very specific. There are rules to it. You can almost figure it out.
Yeah.
I think like it's worth like just check him out. Leyendecker was awesome.
Leyendecker.
And also, if we're going to talk styles, then you have Elfgren, the pinup guy that did all the iconic pinups back in the day. There were a lot of people that were doing what he was doing, but I think he sort of stood out. Like you could see an Elfgren, like as opposed to someone else doing it, because they didn't have like, there was an appeal to his artwork that many modern artists that are super famous, like Loish, Artgerm, Charlie Bowater.
You can see the inspiration or the influence.
No, I just mean that you can. They have a natural appeal in the way that they draw.
Oh, okay.
So that a lot of people they create this huge following. They're good artists, but just being a good artist, like we are good artists, but we don't have that natural appeal that sort of like makes people mass around our work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that there is some sort of like natural like
there's just something, sort of magic, I guess.
Yeah, there is an appeal there. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
because if we knew, we would all be doing it.
Of course. But that is sort of our general thoughts of style and where it came from or what it is.
Yeah, it's super hard to sort of dive into
this.
It's
really difficult.
Because it just gets wider and wider. And there are so many styles and we can't talk about all of them.
No.
And in the end, if you do not, like sort of, like if we go too far back, I think the appeal sort of like, depending on the time and artist, it sort of drops off as like, depending on what era you're in.
Yeah.
Because you can sort of see the influences and like some just don't do it for me, like... Everyone appreciates the Mona Lisa. I'm tired of the Mona Lisa. I appreciate Leonardo da Vinci, but I'd rather just look at his sketches.
Yeah, exactly.
That's personal for me.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't feel like the way that they did things, there's probably things to learn there as well.
Oh, yeah,
but do you really need to be a modern artist? No. So it's all like, what is your end goal with like, like what do you want to achieve with going back?
Yeah,
like
I think it's just a form of respect. You need to acknowledge the whole past and stuff. But I mean, we're in a different fucking universe now. Like,
I think so.
Today it's almost difficult finding people drawing traditionally. We're like,
no, I don't think so. I think there is a room. Like there's the playing like in the past, the market was like there were a few artists. Because you couldn't make a living, because social media didn't have, all the outlets to reach people further away than, like around them, like in that city or, the city next door. So I think that sort of created, like, even if they weren't very good, they might have been the only good artist at that level in that area. Yeah, because he could afford paint, because I don't know. Like, so... The market is way more saturated now. Like the opportunities are endless, and we've talked about this on the episode about opportunities and creating them.
Yeah.
And that's more relevant than ever. Like I think that will like currently how sort of like social media and everything is going. It seems to be like the way to go.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I think that's a scary thought. It's more like they're choosing artists after how many people are following them instead of the quality of their work.
Oh, definitely.
A lot of companies are just looking at like, oh, he's only got 3,000 followers now.
No, yeah.
And even like my colleagues with tattoo artists, they're like, oh, he's only got like 4,000 followers. Yeah. Fuck, I don't want to follow this guy.
Yeah.
You don't even look at the stuff. You just look at the fucking numbers.
But I think it's okay depending on. I like that everyone has a place in this market. I think where the numbers start to matter is when companies are not looking to hire that person for their skill, but for their reach.
Yeah.
So when people want to go through my Instagram account to reach my followers, I'm very sort of protective of my followers because, it takes some time to build it up.
Yeah.
It takes I have a dialogue with these people, I don't want to like throw shit at them, and then they're like, dude, this thing that you recommended, it's
shit.
garbage. Yeah. I would never want to do that. Like I wouldn't, because then I'm ruining my brand. Well, whereas the company, they're fine.
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
Fine. So it's it's fucked up.
Strange new world.
Yeah, back to the thing. So what is style? It's a lot of things.
Yeah, it's up in the air at this point.
But you guys, I guess, should we bring it back to like the personal style? Because I know that everyone's sort of like...
I mean, yeah, that's where people want to know stuff.
Exactly. And I think that's, I guess, where we have more knowledge. And I think everyone who's been drawing for over a decade, or, you know, at some point it just clicks, like, this is what I do.
Yeah.
But I think what I wrote down, like, I love the replies that you got about the personal art style. And for me, I just wrote art identity.
Yeah. Which is pretty much
the same thing. Yeah. Because we all see the world through our own sort of looking glass, you know, and then we interpret what we see in a unique way.
Yeah.
So...
Like one of the comments was, if you put 4 artists in the room and they all have to draw the same subject.
We've said that as well on the podcast, I think. Yeah.
And you're going to get 4 different pictures.
Takes on it.
Exactly. And it's going to be 4 different styles.
Of course.
In that sense. Or depending on how you want to say it. I mean, I don't want to put labels on anything. I will probably say styles, even though I feel that it's a wrong word for it.
Let's use styles for clarity. Yeah. And just like, you can call it whatever. I don't care about the labeling. When I start caring, it's when you go for like, oh, this is Cubism meets this. Like that shit is just confusing. It's like all the music genres, when you have these subgenres and you just like keep specifying because you add a violin and then you add a...
Exactly.
You know, like, I don't know. Like
no, it's like pop, metalcore, symphony.
Exactly. And you're like, what? Like, you get lost. Like, it's too much to keep track of. So I just like saying art. And then this is, you know, my art identity, my style. So that's simple. That people can sort of grasp. Oh, he just draws like this. He draws this cartoonish shit.
Exactly. But that's what I mean. Because it is cartoonish. Or
But I'd rather have cartoonish shit than having all those, like, those names.
But it's illustration. You know, I guess that is the category we would be placed in.
Until I get the question, what is illustration? And you're like, or like, what is an illustrator?
Google it.
And, no, but I love that the fact is that it's like, it's well known, but it's not. Like, you know, it feels like everyone should know this, but...
Yeah, we just have to assume that some people are
not there
too
yet.
young.
Not there yet.
Not there.
So, yeah, man.
But yeah, what were we saying? We were saying the personalized
like it's
style.
It's like a fingerprint of your, like...
Exactly. Identity.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the word that I would be using for it. I think it's more appropriate.
Let's call it an identifier. That's what it is. Like, it's like, what is style? It's an identifier for that specific person.
Exactly.
And I think there are, like, clear people that have... what do you mean? What am I trying to say here? You know what? Scratch that.
Tired brain. Not working.
So, we've sort of... We can sort of all agree... Like, we're not saying anything is right or wrong or blah, blah, blah. This is just our, like, perception of what this is, like, what style is.
Yeah. And I mean, we're trying to, like, clarify this as we go with you guys.
Yeah.
So if it sounds a bit like, if it sounds like we're lost, it's probably because we are lost.
No, but it is a tricky subject.
It is. It's super tricky.
A lot of you talk about like, oh man, I need to develop my own style and really la la la.
I think that sentence is what's really like bothering me.
Me too, because it's
what
like,
do you mean?
What do you mean? Exactly.
Yeah.
Because that is like, I'm having a hard time answering the question because I don't understand what the hell you're saying.
No.
And it's not wrong that you're asking. It's a valid question since you're wondering and there's more of you. And
like
so,
there are no really stupid questions. No. So just keep asking.
That's why, like, if you're listening, please take some time, like pause the podcast, just go into this episode's, like the latest post that is regarding to this episode.
Yeah.
And please ask or like explain to us sort of like, what does that mean? Like developing your own style, no matter what you do in art. Like if you're drawing butts all day, you're developing your style.
Yeah.
So if you're going the Evan, his style, he just draws ballpoints, butts, tits, and does that over and over and over and over, and it's always slightly different, but you can tell who it is, like immediately. Yeah, there's
instantaneous.
The identifier is so clear that it's, you know, like some people are harder.
Yeah.
And some people are super easy.
And some people get harder after looking at his drawings.
Or he gets harder because they send him nudes so he can draw those. Yeah. But he's very professional about it, and I really like that. It's
nice.
Very good.
Yeah.
He doesn't post him masturbating to them. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Not like so Kim.
You're awesome, dude. Let's not dive into that one.
Sorry if I offended people.
So you ask us, how do you develop your style? And I'm so worried that my style is not developing and blah. Like, don't worry about that.
Exactly.
Any study that you do, anything that you draw, when you have a specific goal in mind and you work at it, that style thing is always like, it's something you're born with. Even the first, like the way that I can use my daughter as an example. When she draws characters, like if I show you what she did 2 years ago, it's very different from what she's doing now, where they have arms and legs and not arms and legs coming out of their heads, you know, but it's still sort of like, there is like an identifier in those two different states. And it's been 2 years apart, but it's still sort of like super clear that it's the same person or kid drawing them, at least for me, you know, that I've seen her draw and I've seen them develop. So there is an identifier there for me. So she always, like when you're born, when the first time you start drawing something that makes sense, my son has this thing where he's seen me draw Spider-Man heads and he does his interpretation of it. It's always the same.
Yeah.
So we all have that. We all have that thing that we keep doing over and over that becomes an identifier. So my son does the same thing. He draws like an oval or a circle-ish, and he adds like spider legs on it, which is like straight lines out of it, and does like 2 eyes in it and a mouth. They're super skewed, but it's always the same, sort of. So I think, don't worry about style. Style is something that you do on repeat unintentionally.
Yeah. And it will develop like
into something recognizable.
Yeah. But it will keep growing. I mean, we're still growing our styles,
definitely,
and we're 30 years into this bitch, doing it like forever.
30 years into this bitch, and we never reached it.
Yeah, that's not what I mean. But and I mean, we're still going strong. We're still trying to develop as we go, experimenting with different sort of techniques, whatever it may be, but we're still evolving our style within Bunny Ears now. So it's never stopping. Like, we're continuing our artistic evolution. Yes. And I think it's awesome. And just going back again, I mean, I think what it all sort of, God, yeah, squeezing at the things. Totally losing my train of thought. No, but what influences us? Like, that's how we sort of develop our style or identity. We talked about this earlier.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot to write that down, so keep going, please.
But it's just like, because, I mean, if you look at mine and Ilya's style and what we draw and what, like, the stuff we have been drawing, if you go way back, we have been drawing sort of the same thing.
The Ninja Turtles things, I think, are like...
Exactly. I mean, we brought this up many times before, but this is like the key factor here, I think.
I think it is.
Because we started off getting super inspired by the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon series when we were kids. And started drawing them from the toys and all the stickers and whatever it was and the comic books. And
from the bad comic books, that is.
Yeah, and we tried to copy them, and we did that thing. And then that sort of turned into us doing our own poses of those characters, probably. And we did... Yeah. And that's how...
Similar but different, you know, like...
And we kept watching our stupid cartoons, which aren't stupid, they're fucking awesome. And
until you rewatch them.
Yeah. No, let's not. But just kept going and getting influenced by all of these comics and movies and games and everything. And that, you know, imprinted on our brains. And that comes out in our wrist when we not masturbate, draw stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good save.
This is the masturbation episode. It had to come.
Worst. But you have no backstory, but...
Oh man. But yeah, I hope you guys understand what I mean. Like, you get influenced by all of these things around you all the time, and your brain picks up on things, just you don't really realize that it is, and then you're drawing something and you might have done something with that eye or whatever it was, and you don't remember where you saw it or how it came in there, but you have seen it somewhere and your brain picked it up, and that's how you evolve continuously throughout your life.
Yeah.
So until you are gone from this planet,
your style will be...
It will be continuously...
ever evolving, pretty much.
And
so
I
you
think
don't
that's
have to...
Yeah,
it's
beautiful.
Awesome. Yeah, it's
awesome.
super cool. But just to be more specific, for example, if we pull it back, like when you start off, like if you go from when you were a kid, so when I was about 12, 13, we discovered American comics, or not, they were more accessible by that time. Yeah. So I started buying the Gen 13 ones.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, like at that age, I was more like the way that I sort of applied myself to art. I think that was the first time in my life I wanted to draw something else that wasn't like my style. I wanted to be J. Scott Campbell. Yeah. And I just drew that. Like I just drew J. Scott Campbell's, you know, everything. Anything I could come over, I would just like buy it, come God damn it.
We've ruined this episode. So good.
So anything I could geek
out over.
Anything I could sort of like buy that was J. Scott Campbell, I would buy and I would study the fuck out of it. Yeah. And a lot of my style was a plagiarism of J. Scott Campbell. And then I started taking his stuff, the stuff that I learned, to create my own stuff. And the older I got, the less I copied people's styles and took solutions. I started, instead of just like, okay, he draws girls like this, I didn't do that. What I did was like, when he draws this pose, he cheats by doing this. So I started finding things that were appealing to me, like, oh, he slants eyes like this, I'm going to try it in my style, and you adapt it, and it becomes your own, instead of seeing my studies from J. Scott Campbell, you know. Social media wasn't a thing back then, so you couldn't post it anywhere, except, you know, DeviantArt. And no, you couldn't. This was way
was
backer.
Even before...
Yeah, before that. Way backer. So I stopped trying to use my influences, like Joe Madureira wasn't one thing that we sort of met on. Oh, yeah. And really, really started going bananas for. But after that, I stopped. I was more like, okay, I need to develop my shit. Yeah. But it wasn't like intentional, I need to reach my style. It was just like, I just stole shit that I found useful. Yeah. Like in the way that I approach art.
And I stole from you. But you, like, because you had all those comic books, I didn't. I was reading more of the Spirou and Tintin.
Oh, yeah, you had those classic,
old school, more French type comics. A lot simpler.
No, just kidding.
A lot more simpler stuff. But got really influenced by the stuff you were doing and copying you and learning from you, and then also watching all the cartoons and all the movies. And then we found, or you showed me Battle Chasers, or I got that small little book. And blew my mind and started trying to reproduce stuff from there. Yes, and that's actually where I started falling in love with the whole inking.
Oh, and because you went bananas with the inks later,
And I mean, still to this day, I love doing that shit, which actually should be what I should be doing for Inktober, but it doesn't matter.
You should be doing what works.
Yeah, exactly.
For this challenge.
I'm just trying to survive. This goddamn Inktober. But yeah, so that was my sort of journey, and then took it from there, and I guess went more rogue, away from the typical sort of comic book stuff, and found the Blade of the Immortal. I don't know.
Yeah, you introduced me to that. You got the first 2 books.
Yeah, I mean, it was insane. I just remember, because I bought the second book first, because it had a ninja in it. Well, it's sort of a lot of ninjas.
You just had the guy with the mouthpiece, actually,
but
with the hair.
Yeah, but he had like a ninja mask, and I've always loved ninjas.
Such a cheap sell.
Yeah, but it's so easy.
No, it's so good, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm a ninja whore, you know. Love it. So I bought that one and I opened it up and then I bought it straight away because it was amazing. And it's all inks or some of the stuff
the
is
first
with
three
sketched.
are just pencil. And
then
like
some
inks.
Yeah.
And then it just goes inks because he gets frustrated.
Yeah, but it's so fucking crazy. It's sort of a mix between manga, American comics, and realism.
Yeah. I think realism is pretty close to the sort of the body types.
Yeah,
and then it
the
goes a
anatomy
bit
is-
more on the faces. It's a bit more, like manga-ish.
Yeah. Simplified, I guess,
Yeah.
Japanese style. But yeah, so I went more that way, trying to do more correct anatomy, maybe a little, because I still had the Humberto Ramos influence with bigger hands and feet, just because it's easier. Mm-hmm. And then sort of went from there into the whole drawing faces and working off of references instead.
Yeah.
And that's sort of where I am now. I'm still developing, not really knowing where I'm going.
I want to say something as well regarding
You cannot.
about this topic. I have at least personally worried about style as well. I want my style to be more distinct.
Yeah,
and it's
unique.
always been.
That's the thing.
Except when I was drawing J. Scott Campbell stuff, then I was like a ripoff of J. Scott Campbell. But that helped me sort of it gave me a lot of studying his stuff.
Yeah.
Gave me a lot of you should. You can draw stuff like this, and it simplified some of my process.
And that's how you're supposed to go.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the normal evolution of...
definitely.
Well, I guess for at least an illustrator, because that's what we are. We're illustrators.
Yeah, we just do
We're
symbols,
not fine artists, because who knows what's in their brains,
Yeah.
It's just sometimes it's really abstract, crazy shit that you can't get. You could never understand in a million years. You had to be that artist to understand what the fuck this person is trying to do.
Or you could be pretentious and pretend.
Or
Pretentious pretender.
or it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Who knows? That's the best thing about art.
Mm-hmm.
It's just fucking... It's everything. Man, really...
And then take it back, Robert. Rein it back and rein it back.
Yeah, sorry.
No worries.
But yeah, illustrators, easy. Easy evolution. And if you have parents like us who saves all your kiddie drawings...
Then you will cut yourself.
Yes, you will. And cry.
So you're so bad.
But laugh.
So
but
bad.
you can go back and really check and see your evolution, which is fun. And you can start remembering oh shit, yeah, this thing was from that. At least for me, I can remember the specific time I drew that thing and everything surrounding that image, whatever it was. If I was working at Pizza Hut or if I was watching this movie or whatever it was. So if you do, go back and check. It's horrible, but fun.
Yeah.
And useful.
And I think a lot of artists on DeviantArt that haven't deleted their history. I don't know. I don't have an example for you, but
Robert. Yes.
But
Yeah.
but if I'm gonna take a famous artist like Charlie Bowater, a great concept artist that works on Atom Hawk, I think now. But she had when I started following her style was more of manga style. And anyone that knows Charlie Bowater, now just so you can Google her, if you don't know, her style, I can still see her early stuff in her new work. So that identifier has not disappeared. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Even if she did the manga stuff, there's still something left that still resonates in her style.
Yeah.
Her style is way more realistic now than ever. But it's still there is something there, sort of she used to do slightly bigger eyes on some of her stuff, and they got smaller with time and everything. But there's still something there that just is the same. It's the same artist. Nothing has really changed. It's still that same expression, just polished.
Nice.
So it's really nice to see.
Yeah.
And I think Loish has that as well. Like anyone who knows Loish, I think all of the internet does.
Probably.
most of the internet does. And if you don't know her, you've probably seen her work.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like I followed her for years. She's not really moved over to realism, but her style has sort of like, she's gotten better over the years, and it shows in her work, you know, in the way that she does things. I think like when you become this like good, you just like, you do the same with less, you know what I mean? Like, it's so much easier. It's a process. It's a streamlined thing.
I mean, you start working faster because you know how to do stuff, which opens up more time to do more details into stuff, or you just keep evolving that way.
And
beautiful stuff, like really cool.
One other thing that I wanted to touch upon was like on a personal level, I struggled with, like when I started off copying Jason Campbell, and I have this sort of like, I wanted my, like people were referring to my style as manga for a while.
I remember your frustration.
But just before that, I was actively trying to make my characters more Western, like in the way that they draw comics. So it wasn't really, I wasn't ever inspired by anime or manga, you know, because we grew up with that stuff when it wasn't as mainstream. But it had a boom in like 2000, I think, or something like that. Like, there was like this ginormous manga boom.
Oh, yeah.
And
crazy.
I was doing this, like I was trying to sort of like, I can't change my style, but I can sort of like, if I keep doing this one thing all the time, it'll like come naturally. So I was drawing eyes way smaller than the heads I was drawing. And then I sort of naturally started making them the right size for my faces, like for my appeal, I mean, like the way that I like it. So I worked away the big eyes and made them smaller. So now I when I start something, the eyes are generally smaller than they were in the past. But if you look at it, it's the same art style.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing has changed. It's just that the eyes are smaller and your perception of my piece becomes different. So you don't see the bigger eyes. So you're not making the manga connection.
No.
And that's just me changing the eyes. That's the only thing. I worked on a lot of things, but that one was intentional. You know, like I've done studies to become a better artist, but I haven't really, like the eyes were an intentional thing that I worked on. And then you were like, oh, this is American. Or, you know, it's this style or whatever the fuck you want to label it with. But it's your perception changes because I make a small adjustment. So it's the same shit you're looking at, but I'm making you say something else because I did a small change. And eyes are apparently important.
They're very important. Windows to the soul, my friend. But it's pretty funny, like just you mentioning, J. Scott Campbell and Joe Madureira are big influences.
Very big.
But just looking at them now, seeing how, I mean, back when we were drawing them, they were so influenced by manga and anime. Like
I think Madureira was more.
Also J. Scott Campbell.
No. If you look at J. Scott Campbell's early work,
it's more pin-up-y?
No, it's so fucking Jim Lee.
Oh yeah,
it's so insanely Jim Lee that it's like.
Well, he was the inker for Jim Lee in the beginning, I think, and then he became his own thing.
But it's still fun. Like if you go back, like J. Scott Campbell, I don't know, early '90s and forward, just like check out the development. It's the same shit. It's like exactly the style is the same.
Yeah.
He just like does a little tweak there, does a little thing there, learns a thing more about anatomy that sort of works, and he just pulls that back, you know, or like exaggerates.
Yeah.
But it's the same. You can see that it's the same artist on both. It's just like you can see that style development, and you don't have to worry about it. Just worry about like being good enough for the type of art you want to do.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's what you should be focusing on.
Yeah, exactly. That is the main point here.
Yeah. And you can like steer your art when you feel like I'm doing something that I don't like or it's not appealing to me, but I keep doing it.
Yeah.
Then work on that. Just take that one thing and just don't do it. Like every time you get to that part, if it's eyes, if it's a nose, if it's, you know, if you don't like it at all, just change it. Because I could. I did it with the eyes.
Yeah.
And now I like the eyes, sort of.
Yeah.
So it's like within, like...
Yeah.
Like,
for me, it was noses, actually. I've always been, I'm still working on my fucking noses. But it was just, I could never get it the way I wanted to. Or the way my brain sort of wants me to.
Yeah, like the correct way in your mind. Yeah,
it's so strange. I think that's why I started drawing more realistic or drawing off of references, because I could never get it that way that I wanted it, and I needed reference to look at it, and then it was just easier. And then I drew faces, and now faces forever, ever. Faces forever, faces.
Oh man, I hate faces, but I love them.
Yeah.
It's so satisfying.
So, it's so easy. Meditation.
But then again, people want their style to stick out.
Yeah.
Which is another thing I think we should touch upon.
Mm-hmm.
So, just to sort of start wrapping this up, the thing is, everybody wants their style to
be special.
Be special, exactly. And want to have that natural appeal that Loish has, that Art Germ has.
The thing we touched on
all these
earlier,
artists that famous artists with instant appeal. Even when they sucked with bunny ears.
Yeah.
There
was
something that people wanted to follow.
Yeah.
So what has how do you attain that? What do you do? I think the most a big problem in today's society is that we can all access the internet, and what happens when we can all access the same information?
It all looks the fucking same.
Yeah, if you find what the internet does, or what Google does, is that everything that is popular shows at the top. So if you look for cat, you're gonna get you go to images and you get cats.
Icon has cheeseburger.
Icon has cheeseburger, exactly. And you get we all get the same shit. Unless there's an algorithm to tell us oh, this guy loves this type of shit. But it's still generically almost the same, usually just the same shit that we get presented with. So if we're all I think we can take Inktober. The first word on this this week was Swift. It was the first day. And Swift, you just look the definition up. Everyone, I think, looked up the definitions. You just get all the meanings of Swift. One of them was something about a bird. I don't remember exactly what the phrasing was, but it's about the swift flight of blah 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 blah, blah something shit.
It makes sense.
Yes, and then I think everyone looked for birds, and then when you look at what people have drawn, everyone has drawn birds in this we all do the same thing. That's what I'm talking about. This saturates the market. So if we're all sort of okay, night, and then we Google night and we get 20 options, that's not the reference you should be using.
No.
Apparently.
No.
So try to find...
Keep on scrolling,
exactly,
on scrolling,
or use another source of you can use it for learning about armor, but that shouldn't be your main, you shouldn't draw that in your drawing, because you're going to draw that same armor, and then I am, and Robert is.
Yeah.
And we're all going to have the same character. Sure, the style will be slightly different, but you want to stick out. You want to do whatever everyone else is doing. You want to do the opposite if you want to stick out.
Yeah.
Because right now, any art community, ArtStation, DeviantArt, it's usually people drawing the same fucking thing in the similar style. So Bobby Chew is a good example of drawing cutesy monsters and creatures.
Yeah.
And then everyone else starts doing it. And then...
all cutesy monsters look the same.
You sort of see where it's coming from.
It's a common...
And then there's this simplified 2D style that some artist has, or Loish is a great example here. Everyone's doing the Loish thing, but that the original is Loish because she's the most well-known, even if she's not the original, But I'm just saying that we're all and then you have the Art Germ people, you have the Kim Young-gi wannabes, and you have, whatever. Yeah. No matter what it is, it's a trend, and people just jump on it.
Yeah.
So you desaturate that sort of that style or market, and if you do it, and they want that style, they're probably going to take Loish over you, because there's a security there.
Yeah.
And when they can't take her, they take the next one maybe, I don't know. But I would just do the opposite of what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
And we've touched upon it before. Try to find reference in odd places. like in how your sort of like your pillows on your couch create a silhouette. You know, I don't know. Just be creative in the way that you look for reference. Like you want armor to look like armor? Look at armor, definitely.
Yeah.
But when it comes to sort of putting the piece together, try to find that somewhere else. Find an expression that is different. Like the try to find your inspiration in other places than Google's 20 first pictures, you know.
Or Pinterest or whatever it is.
Pinterest, yeah, because you will end up with the same thing.
Yeah.
They have their place. I use Pinterest. It's awesome.
Yeah, me too. Constantly.
Constantly, yeah. But I try not to use it as I'm going to draw this bird straight off. I'd rather just like, I'm going to take the bird that I want to draw and then I'm going to find some crazy images from different places and then I'm going to make that bird into something else. That's how I draw because I think it's boring. When I draw portraits, I don't draw from one portrait. I usually take like 4 or 5 photos of that person that I have open and then I make my own. Because that's more fun, you know, like you do something with it that not everyone else is doing. So try to think a bit different. Like if you see everyone, like if you go to artstation.com and look at them, a lot of the stuff is like an incest of another artist, you know, like
no, but that's how it is. Like everything is just like they say in Fight Club. It's a copy of a copy of a copy. That's how life is today, or a lot of life.
Yeah.
So, like finding your own style and stuff. I understand your worry and your concern about it and how you want to achieve it because obviously you want more Instagram likes, right?
Yeah.
But stop. Just. Yeah, you should go your own way. Yeah, I wanted to sing the song there, but you should go your own way. Na 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 na. See, I did it now. Feeling very, very uncomfortable. I feel so lonely.
Yeah. So try to not worry about the style.
Exactly. You have it.
Yeah, you have the style. Like anything you do. No matter what you're sort of trying to do, you have a style. Like it's always going to be there. It's just like, how polished is it going to be? That's the thing. Like, are you good enough to get a job with it? If that is your goal, that's, I think, what you should be worrying about. What am I missing? What don't I have in my arsenal of skills that I need for what I want to achieve? So that's what you should be focusing on. The style shit, it will just come. Like it will be there. And you will be like, oh, I do this fun thing. And you'll just keep doing it because it's natural and fun.
And it's just it's in your wrist again.
Exactly.
Like it's something you don't think about. It's just a movement that you do. And it's like, wow, I like that. And then you try to reproduce it. Sometimes you're not even able to reproduce your own stuff. Like I've done that, like again with the noses. Sometimes like I fucking nailed the nose, and it's like awesome. I know how to do it now. Yeah, and then I try to do it again, and it's like no,
not the same thing. Yeah,
it was just like a happy fucking accident. Yay! It's so sad.
Yeah, you don't want happy accidents all the time.
No,
you don't want your style to be dependent on happy accidents.
No,
but I want to answer the question that we got as well. We got a question, you know, on the live stream.
Yeah,
earlier. I don't remember. I took a picture of it. I just remembered it and forgot it.
Yeah.
So we're going to answer one question that was sort of really good regarding style.
So the question was from Obvious and Totally Aware.
Yes. Thank you for following us.
Thank you.
We've been doing it for quite some time now. Woo!
Awesome.
Thank you. We love you.
So the question is, what is the difference between having a style and just drawing things incorrectly?
Yes. This is... I think this is a great opportunity for people that are insecure to cover up their mistakes.
I do it all the time.
Yeah. But then there are styles that are like...
sloppy or whatever.
No. I think they are done with... It's done with purpose.
Oh, intentionally.
But, but you can usually tell...
If
you just look back on like this artist's like recent art. You can just go back a few pieces in their sort of like art creation. If they're always making wonky shit, then it's a mistake. But if they do it, like if they draw anatomy, you know, like no matter style, like or like expression, like manga, blah, 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 what we covered. If it is looking pretty okay, and then they do it, then you understand, oh, he's exaggerating, like I do. I do like these really buff people, but I never do them when I draw like properly. Then I just pull it back, but I love exploring it.
Exactly. It's experimenting.
And you should be doing this. You should be making like shapes that make no sense and then try to turn them into something.
And that's how you make those happy accidents.
Exactly.
And you're just like, wow, fuck, that was so cool. Like, that's perfect.
Yeah, and some things are just like wrist natural, you know, so you just can reproduce them, and some are impossible.
Yeah, I love that. I love doing that too.
Yeah, I love that too. But like we said, if you want to sort of see if someone is making... Like, if someone's shitting you, you can just go back. Just go back and look at his stuff.
Is it consistently bad, then he's
probably needs to learn a few things, but he's not ready for that lesson. So maybe you should just leave him alone. Just let him live in his lie if he can't take the feedback right now. Because, you know, like, at some places, like, depending on where you are in your art, I think there's a growth opportunity where, like, people should just enjoy art up to a certain age.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to discourage them by saying, like, oh, your lighting is off and your anatomy shit. And then they just start it off. You know what I mean? Like, because you want them to sort of be hooked on the feeling. Oh, my God.
Yes.
Hooked on a feeling. Nice.
Had to. Feels good.
But you want them to get hooked on it. It's the same approach that I use with people that follow me to the gym at work. Like, I have, like, 2 people. No. I get them hooked. I just have them hooked.
Conga line going. Gym.
So we try to get them, like, hooked on the, like, how fun it is. And you get stronger and blah, 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 blah. And then at a certain point, it's like, okay, now that you've been doing it for quite some time, when they don't go to the gym, they feel this, like, absence in their lives. Yeah. And we've created the need for it. Now you want to start sort of, like, challenging them and encouraging them, and they're like, oh, you're doing this, like, try doing this instead of saying your posture is dicks. It's just like you just encourage them, like, oh, try doing, like, press your chest out and, like, heave your arms like this, do this thing. You give them small, like, things to just try out,
to tweak
all the time, and then they just get better. And there's no, like, oh, you're doing it wrong, you're garbage, you know, like, some people can take it, but most people need that sort of, like, the enjoyment and the addiction before you can start pushing them over the edge.
No, I totally had, like, a whole drug reference in my head.
So if you want to get them hooked, give them some freebies. And
exactly.
Then,
the first one's always free. Yeah. There you go.
So same thing here. Some people aren't ready for your feedback, so be chill.
Yeah. No, I thought I had something to add, but I don't.
Yeah, if you're angry, masturbate. Let's move on.
Yeah. Release
the pressure.
All right, let's move forward.
Woo! To the future.
Skadoosh.
And we're back. And it's time for...
Toolies.
Robert's favorite word.
Toolies.
So, we don't have a lot of tools to talk about today.
No.
But I went to our favorite place, or one of our awesome places, to buy art supplies that doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. And it's Matton in Stockholm.
Matton.
Not sponsored at all.
No.
I wish, because then this sketchbook that I'm going to recommend maybe would have been free, but no. But it's still an awesome place. You can get Cold Erase there. You can get Copics a bit expensively, I think. But there are other stuff that are really good. Yeah, but the Cold Erase are Prismacolors.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
So they have a couple of good things there you should buy. But today I'm going to talk about the sketchbook Render. And it's spelled Rend.
Render.
Yeah, so Rend and an R. Render. And then the brand is called Crescent.
Nice.
And the sketchbooks are... I can't really... I don't know what the technique is, but it's a bleed-proof sketchbook.
Mm.
And it's truly bleed-proof. I just went bananas with the Copics on it. It does not bleed through. So you can paint on both sides.
No way.
Yes. There is one with like 20 arcs in it, the one that I bought, just a flip book, like a flip through, you know, like it has arcs and you can just pull them
Tear
out.
them out. Mm-hmm.
Tear them out, yeah. They have like this little glue thing at the top, you know, when you open the sketchbook.
Oh, it's like a watercolor type.
Yeah, exactly. That type of sort of, like, they're not glued together though, you know, like watercolor paper,
no,
but it's just like they have that top. Sort of,
easy to remove, sort of.
Easy to remove, yeah. They have that one. They have hardbound sketchbook,
Ooh.
a big one, A4, and a smaller one, A5. The only problem I have with those is that they're bound so tight, so you can't, like, you have to sort of bend them because you don't get the full page, you know, because it's so fucking hard bound.
Mm-hmm.
But the paper, I think it was like 180 grams on those, so that's nice.
Sweet.
And like I said, you can use both sides. Go batch it with your Copics, just turn the page.
That's
nothing.
awesome.
Yeah. And there are some other versions as well. There's a couple of thinner ones, just like thinner paper, but same thing, doesn't bleed through. So I think there's like paper, some coating in the middle, and then another paper somehow. Like, I think there's something keeping the middle safe, or like for bleeding through.
Genius.
Yeah. One thing I can say about them is that when you use Copics, I haven't tried blending dark colors, which is the real test here.
Yeah.
And what I mean there is not that they're going to bleed through, but they're going to, like the paper texture, it's a pretty cool effect depending on what you want. But it leaves like little white sort of like
dots or
like dots, like small little.
So it's like a white texture, or no?
Yeah, it becomes a little white, sort of like little holes in the ink, even if you put it evenly.
Okay, so it's like the ink doesn't want to go fully into the paper.
Yeah, there's something sort of like it leaves, but I think it looks nice.
Okay.
The only thing I'm worried about is that you'll have a hard time making smooth transitions.
Oh, okay. How like gruff is the texture of the paper?
The paper. I don't know.
Like, is it very gritty? Or
No. It's pretty smooth. It's smooth experience. You can see the texture, but it's pretty smooth. Like the experience, it's very nice. One thing that this paper does differently from all the others I've tried, the Leuchtturm that we love, it's pretty smooth. Like you put it down, it's there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
On this one, you can keep painting, and you can sort of see how much color the paper picks up. So when I was filling out the Samurai Girl was drawn on this, but it's hard to show it because it turned out shit. But you can actually, when I was filling it in, you have to like really fill it in. Like it takes a lot of ink, it sucks it up, which is both good and you get like some type of control there that was super cool to see. You see the sort of like. It's so hard to explain it, but you can actually see the color where you sort of painted and when you haven't. And when you travel, you see the wetness sort of setting in.
All right.
So it's very like clear when it's wet, and you can sort of like. It's a bit hard to mix the colors because the transparency of the paper when you do this, even if it's thick paper, you get to that middle coating, and you sort of like you're a bit unsure how much of the like. Let's say you add. I have yellow and I put orange on it. It's hard for me to tell how much orange will be left at the end until it dries, you know.
Yeah. All right.
So
Interesting.
But it is a very nice like paper, depending on what you want to draw, I guess. Again, but I think it's a very nice way of like if you want to do a lot of sketches and you want to use both sides of your pages, which people want for some reason.
Value. For the buck.
Yeah. So I think these sketchbooks, they were called Render. Like REND. R. Yeah. Render. From Crescent.
Cool.
So they might be worth checking out for some of you people.
Also, fun fact, Crescent is actually the birth, or that's why the croissant is called a croissant. Because if you look at it from the side, it's like a crescent moon. Yeah. There you go. Fun fact.
Sailor Moon in Van. Oh, wait, that's Swedish. No.
I don't remember.
I've only heard it in Swedish, so.
Yeah, me too.
So that sketchbook was actually, it's very interesting. I really like the both sides. I did the demo that I did on Friday for anyone who saw it. It's probably gone. It's only on for 24 hours. Was on that paper. So I really recommend it for sketching and stuff. And I'm going to try to do something more serious on it.
It was A4 size, the one you bought.
Yeah, exactly. So try it out.
Cool.
I don't know where they sell them. So they sell them at Matton in Stockholm. So
nice.
It might be worth testing.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Definitely. I need to go there again. Fuck, it's been ages.
Dude, I went there to buy a pocket brush, the Pentel pocket brush, and they were out.
So you got a lot of other stuff.
No, I just got Copic refills. But the Warm Grey 3 was still out.
Of course. the one you need.
The one I needed.
Yeah.
So I bought an R00 for another mark.
All right.
For the R00 apparently.
Yeah. No, I'm still going crazy, like experimenting with stuff for my Inktober. No, I'm still trying to like find my tools. Mm-hmm. Like I've sort of gone into one direction, working with sort of a mixture between Copic markers mm-hmm. and some fine liners, and then going over with white, just going crazy. But all the markers that I'm using are like bone dry now.
Oh,
that's why I get like those fine little streaks.
Yeah.
But now it's almost impossible to do those. So
yes.
Yeah, I need to refill.
That's why I bought the R00. It's so dry.
Yeah.
Like I used the brush side. I was like, oh, this one has ink. No. I turned it out to the broad side. It's white. Like it went from pink to like so white that it looks like sad, like a dried out lake.
Nice.
Cracked. Yeah. So.
But yeah.
I also got critiqued for using Copics on the thing. Thing, like in real life. Yeah, people are like, "Oh, Copic is an ink."
What?
Yeah, I was like, "What?" Copic is very much ink.
Exactly.
I don't know.
So
punch him in the face next time.
Yeah. No, I got tagged in one picture. Was it Feral One Studio? No, I don't remember. Man, I feel really bad. I don't remember.
Some person.
Yeah.
No.
And this person had done the first Inktober one, and was really happy to get in and like be a part of it. But the whole picture, there was no black in it at all. Oh. Like it was very bright colors and stuff. Mm-hmm. So immediately my brain went like, well, that's not right, you know?
Yeah.
But then it's like, but it is all like with markers. I think Pro Marker or whatever.
Yeah, like.
Look, really, really nice. Great image. Mm-hmm. Perfect.
And we would have shouted you out had Robert remembered.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
It's super hard to remember names.
Shout out to the cleaning lady. Getting scared shitless every time they open the door.
Should we start looking in through the window there?
Yeah, that might be easy.
That might be easier.
But yeah, just that instantaneous, something's wrong. So yeah, I need to go in, like the one I did today, the blackbird, I guess you could say, because I don't know what skata is in English.
Skata.
He
was a skater boy. Skata means shit in Greek.
Yeah,
for those of you that don't know.
But so I went like overboard with the black in that one.
Awesome.
But yeah, so need to put more blacks into the Inktober. Yeah, I went there.
Oh well, let's move on.
Next part.
Skibadoosh. We're back now for the last part, which is we're gonna keep it pretty snappy. But this is recommendations.
The reckoning.
And since we're still in October, first week.
Yeah.
We're gonna
be recommending some inspiration.
Mm-hmm. And this time, our good friend Prakash.
That's not a drum roll.
So, Prakash is our friend. We mentioned him a lot on the first episodes of Sketchbook Heroes every now and then about the coffee shop drawing that we used to do and the studies and the shenanigans. So, we're going to just shout him out.
Yeah.
Prakash draws, I think, is the thing.
Yeah.
So, if you see like a long-haired, bearded guy as a avatar, that's him. And he's a tattoo apprentice and does a lot of ink, like even when it's not Inktober. Yeah.
So very unique and like distinct style.
Very much so.
And like an amazing tattoo artist now. I love his stuff.
And his latest,
the crow or the raven bird.
No, but the two. No. Yeah, that one is fucking insane.
Crap,
and I really like the one with the house and some weird shit and a face, a skull or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, the sleeve that he's building.
It's
amazing.
So but he does not only have tattoos, he has some great ink drawings that are so worth checking out.
Yeah.
He's a very distinct style that gets stolen a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So don't steal his shit.
No, get inspired.
Get inspired, don't steal.
There is a difference.
There is a difference indeed.
Yeah.
But he did his Inktober pieces right now.
Yeah,
the first one was Swift. I don't remember what he did, but it was good. That was the wolf with the speed lines and the stuff. Yeah, really good. And also today's piece was really good.
I haven't seen it.
He did like today's topic is divided, so he makes like a bottom part of the like a throat and lower jaw, and then he has like a line going straight through that, like at the top of that, and he has a face facing the other way. With like devil horns, and it's the rest of the face looking
cool.
like, so it's like sort of like a symbol. He's very good at the symbolic shit.
Yeah. He is.
Like occult symbolic stuff, and it's so good. So worth just backtracking his feed, just looking at all his ink drawings.
And that's the stuff that I told you about last time. All you sketchbook heroes out there, black work, just stuff being done with just black ink with no like direct fancy shading or stuff like that, just black stuff. That's like, he's the fucking master. He will be.
He does everything. Like he even does, the smoother ones. But it's so just go in and look up Prakash Draws. Yeah, and we'll have him on the podcast because he's awesome. So we'll try to make that happen.
Yeah,
get him in here, sweat with us.
It's been way too long.
It's been way too long.
Yeah. And my recommendation, well, this was our recommendation.
That was our. Yeah.
But if you want something like more very different, check out Quibe. That's Quibe. Quibe. I think he's a French artist. It does line work. Like, it's one connecting line that creates all of his motifs. Very, very reproduced artist. Like, his stuff gets stolen so many times. We have mentioned him in previous episodes. Because his stuff is like extremely popular today as being tattooed on people. But check out his stuff if you want to see something different, not just the normal comic booky stuff that we recommend all the time.
Yeah, because we have a distinct sort of thing that we like. Yeah. But this guy really does something that I don't know where he gets the inspiration for this, and that's where I think the interesting part is. Like, what drove him to sort of like, I would love to pick his mind regarding why he really loves that.
How did he get started with it? Because I bet you more than anything that he can draw like a motherfucker. Maybe. Like anything like that we do. I haven't
seen anything from him like other than that stuff.
No, I've only seen those stuff too.
And I didn't even know it was him. Until you showed me the stuff, because I've seen those around Pinterest. You know, like super simple, like tattoos or just.
It's so popular. Like I've done a couple of those motifs. Also, I've had to draw my own like stuff. Like they've sent me inspiration with him, and I have to draw. Like the last thing I did was cactus. It was fucking impossible. Like it's so difficult to do.
What he does.
Yeah, and he makes it look effortless.
Dude, and it's such simple lines.
Yeah, and you can see, if you go into his feed, you can see some of the videos when he's drawing the stuff. So you can see it like as he's doing it, and it's so simple.
Oh, he just does it like that?
Yeah. I know. So fucking,
God damn it.
I hate him.
Some people.
But yeah.
He's probably Asian.
Quibe. Go check him out.
Quibe. And regarding people stealing his shit, he had this nice setup. Like he said, if you're gonna steal my shit, or like use it as a tattoo or whatever you told me.
Yeah, if you want to get one of his motifs tattooed, he asks like, please buy a print of the thing that you want to get tattooed. It's like $5 or something. Like it's not at all super expensive. And it's just, so he can get some recognition for the epic work that he's doing.
And if you do it, give a shout out.
Of course.
Don't just take it.
And he actually does repost the tattoos.
That's awesome.
So if somebody has bought the print from him, and then they send him like a picture of the tattoo. That would be
so cool with the print on the side. That would be so cool.
But that's what they do. I mean, it's so awesome.
Oh, that is awesome.
And he reposts, and I think he's got like 70,000 followers or something.
Good reminder as well when it comes to, like, if you love artists, no matter who the artist is. I'm not talking about, like the super famous people with the gazillion followers. But if you have artists close to you that don't have a big following, like it could be your best friend, it could be your grandma.
Exactly.
Like it doesn't matter who it is. Like please take some time from like, it's super fun to look at the super good artists. But sometimes or more often than not, try to think about the people around you and like share their work.
Yeah.
And if you have an artist that you like but can't buy their art, a retweet, like shout them out, every now and then, you know, like you don't have to shout them out every month, you know, but I mean just like every now and then. Yeah. You can always support an artist without buying their stuff. Because if you can't buy it, but you repost it and tell like, oh, you guys should check this artist out. He's doing this contest or this giveaway, or he's just like awesome and I want you guys to check him out. Do that. Yeah. Because it really does help.
Somebody might buy.
Yeah, exactly. One of your followers might be, oh shit, I was looking for an artist that did, you know, whatever the fuck it is, the motif. So try to help each other out, because one day he might be like, oh, thanks for the shout out. You might like, you know, you don't know what will happen. So try to help each other out when it comes to that. Don't just help the famous people. Yeah. They are already there. They don't need your help in that sense. So try to appreciate the people close to you. Like, be a hero to them. Yes. So, with that cheesy statement,
up and skadoosh. Nice. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Yeah. We're super tired.
Yes. My name is Zoidberg.
Oh, so you can't do... No.
My friend Fry.
There you go.
There you go. And Zoidberg is taking over. Puny humans.
This is what Elias sounds like when he's drunk.
Mm-hmm. When I'm not busy stealing fries, Mr. Fry Stealer now.
Dude, don't bring it up.
So,
we've moved forward away from this.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, and don't forget to share and like and stuff.
And yeah.
And yeah. And yeah. Yeah, we're doing it. Good night.
And good night.